Folks, today on the Stoney Ridge Farm Channel, we're going to be showing you how we move, mob, and mow in the winter time. This is our winter grazing program here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. You're going to learn something today. All right. Woo!
Stoney Ridge Farm, Stoney Ridge, Stoney Ridge Farm.
Hey there folks, welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm. Today we're out here on winter pastures. I say winter pastures, it's late fall here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. And today we're gonna teach you guys what we're doing on our property to help heal the land regeneratively without chemical fertilizers and to help establish new forage. So come along today as we talk a little bit about our bale grazing program, our bale unrolling program, and our winter forage and grazing program here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. It's not as easy as you think. All right guys, welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm Channel. If this is your first time or your 50th time, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you're not getting notifications when we're posting new content here on the Stoney Ridge. All around us is a 150-acre first-generation cattle operation that we've started from scratch here. Now, what we've tried to do is regeneratively farm. In other words, we're regenerating the soil. We don't have any topsoil. We're in the Piedmont region, foothills region of the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. This is the most highly eroded soil due to crop production, mostly tobacco production around here, and we bought an old abandoned tobacco farm with very, very poor soil. It was all grown up in brush and briars and small trees. We cut the timber and we cleared just about 100 acres. What does that mean? There is no topsoil, okay? So all the fields that were out here before grew up and we cut the 40-year-old tree growth out here. So most of the land that you're gonna see today was cleared about 8 years ago. We fertilized one time and we seed constantly. The way we seed is by unrolling hay bales out onto the land for the cows to graze. So again, regenerative farming, we're trying to get away from chemical fertilizers. So petroleum-based fertilizer like 1717 or 10-10-10 or whatever you might be putting on your pastures or your hayland, we aren't putting it down. Only thing we're putting down is calcium or Solu-Cal and lime to help sweeten the land up and get the pH correct. Always, always, always know this. pH is what counts, guys. Nutrient content can be in the soil, but if the pH is not right, you're not gonna have good forage growth, and that's what it's all about. So today I'm going to show you, we're tricking it up just a little bit here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. We've got a couple cold days ahead of us and a couple good rainy days ahead of us, and we're going to be putting down some seed here on the ATV. So let's walk you around and show you the machine that we're going to be using. Then we'll go up, we'll move the cows, we'll unroll a bale of hay, and we'll spread our grass seed. We rotate our cows. We rotationally graze our cows in a tighter spot than you probably rotate and graze your cows. We're on a 150-acre farm, but we only have about 85 acres of pasture land, and it's not well-established pasture land. We've got 49 cows here and 1 donkey to help protect the babies from the coyotes. What we're using right here is electric poly fence wire, and you'll see me moving the cows through that real quick here in just a moment. This is called the Razor Grazer, and it's a fully mobile system. So I've got a pasture right here that's outside of my perimeter fence, and then I've got it running all of the hot wires all through here. And basically the cows respect this little tiny wire right here. That's all it is just this little tiny wire. But as you can hear, we'll go up here to this post, it's hot, it's popping. So are we looking to shock our cows? No, we're not looking to shock our cows. We're looking for our cattle to respect this fence line, and they absolutely do. They respect the fence line, and again, we mob graze them. So we move them into tight little paddocks in the summertime. So we're talking 50 cows on an acre of land, and we move them every 12 hours. The way that works in the summertime will be totally explained now, and you'll see future videos about it, and I'll show you exactly how we do it. Actually, there'll be a link at the end of this video to how we do it. So this little section right here is about 3 acres. We've doubled the size of our paddock, and this is what wintertime grazing is all about. We have doubled the size of our paddocks, and we will absolutely triple the size of our paddocks. The key is having your hay stored in the pasture that you're going to use it, and using that poly wire to fence off your hay so that the cows don't get into it, and so that your hay is easily accessible. So what we're talking about here, if you're bringing hay in on wet ground with a heavy tractor, with an 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 pound tractor with a hay bale on it, and you're feeding in hay rings, you're making a mess. You're breaking up the soil, you're compacting the soil, and you're making mud holes all over your farm. You're concentrating the manure right by the feeder. We're not doing that. We are unrolling hay out here and concentrating the manure all over the pasture. Then we come in with the chickens and the drag harrow, and we drag the pastures in the spring, and the chickens will graze through the manure as pasture sanitizers as we move the cows. So the cows will be in here, and then they'll move to the next paddock, and the chickens will come in right behind them and just hopscotch right in behind the cows. However, we're gonna slow that down because we're gonna start planting grass seed. Now, this is high quality forage. This is K32 or Kentucky 32 endophyte free fescue. And endophyte, I'll let you Google that. Endophyte is basically a type of, how do I say it? Mold, basically simply. Endophyte is a type of toxin that gets in fescue that can make cows sick. This is Tucuca Timothy, I'm probably saying it wrong. Excellent vigor, high forage quality, rapid regrowth, and cold tolerant. That's important, guys. So we are in the late fall and we're planting grass seed. It's supposed to be 14 degrees tomorrow. Is that gonna hurt this grass seed? No, it's not gonna hurt this grass seed because it's gonna take 7 to 14 days for this to germinate and at least 5 days for this to germinate. So we're not gonna be affected by that. We will be affected by the nice rain that's coming after this. And this is the time of year that you wanna be planting grass seed. So October in my area, September, late September, October, and into November is the time to get your forage established. Now, in each hay bale that we unroll, and I'll get you some hay bale unrolling footage right now, in each one of these hay bales, you will see that they are packed full of grass seed. So we get spring cut hay bales out here on the farm, and those hay bales are full of grass seed. When we unroll, that helps to feed the land. So we unroll the hay on the land, the cows eat 95% of the hay, and what's left over serves as a blanket to carpet the land, to help hold moisture, to help hold heat, and to help those seeds that are in the hay bales to germinate. Also, the cows will gobble up some of those seeds and pass them through their intestinal tract, and in these cow patties, you'll see seeds coming up. The chickens that come in behind them will peck through and get those seeds out, but they'll also peck through and get all of the fly larvae out, which is something pretty cool. Now we've just outfitted our ATV with a new spreader system. And this is a spreader. I'm not sponsored by these guys. This is a Buyer's ATV spreader. And if it sucks, I'm gonna tell you, okay? The coolest thing about this is that I can leave my ATV outside because I have a cover over top, okay? We'll also leave this cover over top as we're bouncing and bounding through the field. Now, how much grass seed and how much Timothy do we need to use? So a good rule of thumb for overseeding an area such as this is about 1/3 of a bag to the acre. We've got 3 acres here, so we're gonna spread this entire bag of K32 fescue. Timothy, we're gonna go just a little bit more sparse. So we'll do our fescue first. We'll get this whole pasture seeded. We're actually gonna go ahead of the cows and seed another pasture after the video's done. And then we'll come through with our Timothy, and we're just gonna broadcast seed all of the land that you see right here with the Timothy. Going ahead of the cows with Timothy and with Kentucky 32 and with clover seed or whatever you decide to establish your forage is important because the cows will work for you. They'll take those little hooves and they'll mash that in the ground. Again, low impact, low cost, no fuel being used really other than the ATV, and the cows are gonna do all the work for us. So without further ado, let's go ahead and load this critter up and start spreading some seed, and then we'll move the cows and I'll show you that. Always, always, always load your seed hopper and open your seed bags in the pasture you want to spread your seeds. Don't do it in the driveway. It's just gonna sprout in the driveway and then you'll have to kill it. Not cool. Let's get on out here and we're gonna zoom around this field real quick. So we spread all our fescue grass. See, we're gonna come in after we move the cows on here and put down our timothy. We're actually gonna put down timothy all over this entire pasture, even the paddock that the cows were on last night. They'll be moved back on that paddock tomorrow morning. So we're hopscotching back and forth until the cows are done with this pasture. Then we'll take the fencing down and the lime truck will come in and lime the fields. They lime the fields because the pH is too acidic here. Let's pull on up here and move the cows. Hey moo-moos. Hey moo cows. Hey guys. So this is our hay for this pasture. This is about 50 bales, and that will service this entire pasture for the entire winter. 50 cows are consuming 2 4x5 net wrap bales per day. That's how much they're consuming, along with some of the forage that's still left behind. Now, stockpiling forage on a small acreage like this, and this is a 150 acre farm, 85-ish acres of pasture, it's very difficult to stockpile forage with that high of a stocking rate. And you can hear the cows are mooing, they're ready to move. So we're gonna go ahead, I've got the four-wheeler already hooked up to a hay bale with the Greg Judy bale unroller. We'll show you that, and we'll let the cows in, and then we'll go in behind them and unroll the hay. Now I did go ahead and unroll one bale last night so that when I moved them this morning, they wouldn't be chasing the four-wheeler, they'd be chasing the hay. That's important, guys. So you don't want to go into a mob of angry, hungry cows with a fresh bale of hay, or they're gonna push you all over that field. I'm sure you guys have experienced that on your tractor at times. Again, lightweight. It's all about lightweight. So that ATV is under 1,000 pounds. This ATV and trailer system is around 1,200 pounds. With the hay bale on it, maybe 1,800 to 1,900 pounds. So it's important that we think about this. We're doing low impact, 6 tires on the ground with 6 PSI in each tire. In other words, we're not compacting our soil and damaging the microbial life in the soil, which is what we need to keep it growing and to keep it flourishing and to fix nitrogen to our soil. So you don't have to spend all your money at the fertilizer store. It occurs to me that you guys may not know what I mean by net wrap. This is a net wrap, okay? And that's what we'll be pulling off of our hay. This is a throwaway item. After we take it off, it can't be recycled or anything like that. And you just simply take a knife and cut it, okay? So we cut that, we remove that, we discard that, and then we unroll the hay. The hay is stored outside. You got to think about this, guys. We need a $40,000 barn to store 60 bales of hay. No, we don't, okay? I'm going to show you underneath every hay bale is a thatch roof. This is a thatch roof. It has a little bit of spoilage on the bottom and a tiny, minute amount on the top. You get a good quality, tight wrapped, net wrap bale, and it will not damage the bale more than probably 3%. So if each bale costs 50 bucks, we're talking about $1.50 wasted per bale that goes back to the land and heals the land. Do I need a $40,000 barn to put these in? No, I need them to be in the pasture that the cows are in so that I don't compact the soil and so that I don't burn more diesel fuel taking these stupid hay bales out of a barn, setting them down, hooking them to this, moving them here, moving them there. It's all about logistics, guys. Planning and farm logistics. You've got to have your hay in the pasture. You're going to use it so you're not hauling hay all day, every day, burning and wasting time and fuel. All right, we'll go ahead and get my ATV warmed up here. I want to start out pulling a 1,000-pound hay bale or 800-pound hay bale with a cold machine. There we go. This is a Greg Judy bale and roller. It says it right there, but it's covered in poopy. So this is an interesting apparatus. There are 2 spikes on the back. You crank the bale up, it lifts it up off the ground. We cut and remove the net wrap and we'll unroll it out there where the cows are. Okay, so simply unhook a gate and the cows can come right on through. Come on, girls. Woo! Woo! Come on. Come on, babies. Come on, babies. That's happy, hungry cows right there, and they know exactly where to go. Good girls. Good sharp knife in about 20 seconds. Removes all this net wrap. Keep a bucket on every ATV for storage of all of our trash and debris. Away we go. You saw it. That's how the Great Judy bale and roller works. Once the bale is off, we just go over and we hook it to the next bale. When I crank it up to the level where I think it needs to be. That way I can just back straight to the next bale, drive the spikes into the bale, and then unroll our hay just like this. Now, this is less than ideal. In other words, we don't want the hay to roll out this thick right here. We want it to actually unroll off the bale the opposite way that it was rolled on so that it spreads it a little bit thinner. So this wasn't ideal, but it is good for demonstration purposes. So we've overseeded this little 3-acre section with 1 bag of K32 fescue. The cows will hoof that into the ground and they'll eat all the hay up and they'll provide these dollar bills that we see out on the pasture. Let me show you the dollar bills. Dollar bill, dollar bill, dollar bill, dollar bill, dollar bill, dollar bill. The whole pasture is covered in dollar bills. The reason we're trying to do this without paying the local fertilizer guy is because we know building soil doesn't require chemicals. It requires time, and it requires biomass and carbon, and that's what we're doing. So our sun provides us the energy, the plants provide the growth, the cows provide the grazing, which stimulates the grass to grow in the spring even more and throughout the summer. When we mob graze like this and we tighten up our paddocks in the summertime, it really allows the grass to flourish. So we'll have 90 different paddocks on the farm all the way around, anywhere from 3/4 of an acre to an acre. They'll graze that, and by the time they get all the way back through, they will have had 45 days of rest, enough to recover and never stunt the grass. This is our 3rd year in production here on the farm. We're tricking it up a little bit by putting down some seed. I bought a pallet of grass seed because it's just not where I want it to be, and we're gonna get cracking on that. So tomorrow I will open this and I will take that fence down, and then the cows will have 6 acres to graze. And then I'll unroll hay out there. The next day, I'll unroll hay over here, and I'll keep them there for about 3 days, hopscotching back and forth from these two. And then I'll take the dividing line down so that they have a full 6 acres. And then they'll get the entire paddock, but not until I feed the last 2 bales of hay. Cool, guys? I hope you enjoyed this. If you have questions, please post them down there. Share this kind of content with like-minded people. If you're curious about raising cattle in a different way, in a non-conventional way, in a regenerative way, building soil, not feeding the fertilizer guy, not feeding the local co-op, I think this is good food for thought for you guys. I'll let you know. Keep following the channel and we'll show you how this all turned out. We're experimenting with different pastures and different methods every year to teach you what works and what doesn't work. Thank you. Take care. Have a great day. The cows are happy. I'm happy. And hopefully you learned something today. Take care, guys. Woo!
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge.
I like to open the bag upside down. It's cool to pee your pants. Hey, What was that? Airplane! Hey! Looks like them rich men north of Richmond just showed up. Another jet. Don't roll away! Come back! Turn it off. Every now and then I turn the drone off and put it on the ground and get shocked in the boom it off. Turn around, moo cow. That's happy, hungry cows right there, and they know exactly where to go. That couldn't have been more perfect. I think I ran over it. Poopy on my camera. A lot of it.